Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. So before I get started, let me show y'all what this shirt hitting for, cause y'all ain't gonna be able to see it. I show y'all like this. This is what it look like. I mean, it is what it is. Like it goes all the way down to the bottom of the absolute bottom of the shirt, and y'all know I don't sit back far, and I don't know when I'm gonna start doing it where it's that layout. Well, I got to get a camera. So if y'all want me to do that, go ahead and chip in for a camera, child. I'm gonna get one at some point in time, whether y'all chip in or not. I'm just playing. Also, this is what I was telling y'all about that I got from my friend. I've always wanted a stirrer. I've always wanted one of these. I legit still have some in a cart, wish list, whatever, like several from when I was even back in my relationship, when I was still attached to someone. And it had already been in there for years prior to that ending. So yeah, it's been a long time. And the fact that I actually have one now, I can't believe it. But yeah, y'all, look at the butterfly. I love butterflies, y'all. But I feel like this is super cute. And I did come on here one day and made a video, but I didn't like how it came out, so I deleted it, and I was actually drinking some tea out of it and not the tea that she gave me, because I got to work my way up to that, because I don't know if I'm gonna trust it or not. But yeah, my birthday was Monday, and I just slept pretty much the entire day. Whenever I wasn't asleep from Monday up until today, I was talking to my friends, and the one that I allowed to get away, the one that I ghosted, and I actually had, I think, my last birthday function, which was my friend doing a seafood boil for me, which I've never had before. And it was lovely. It was nice, y'all. If I think about it, I'll throw all the pictures and stuff up there from that. It ain't many. I wasn't even comfortable taking pictures, and normally I like pictures for memories, and she was glad. She was looking good. And I'm like, girl, what you mean? But I'm like, Heifer, you better be glad. I was looking like, this was doing a lot. I was looking more like Shaka Khan and Erica Badu. Y'all don't understand. Listen, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this recap review. I just had to give y'all that update real quick. My bad. So the episode started out with Andy going into her condo, or whatever it is that they call where she was living at, figuring out and seeing for herself that it is empty, and is in total confusion about it. She calling the front desk, wanting to know why it's empty, and they all happy, and they're like, oh, congratulations, whatever, whatever. She trying to figure out what you talking by, where my stuff at. And so she was just like, I don't understand. What are you even talking about? And she's demanded to speak to certain people. And so they were like, oh, well, he's on the floor that you're on right now. I can tell him, and then he'll stop by. And so she was like, okay. The man that came into the apartment, and he was like, well, congratulations on your purchase, because she has purchased the penthouse. And that's something that she has always wanted. And so she's catching on that this has Gary written all over it. Girl, bye. And I'm just like, he know how to get you. He know how to get you. He already know how to get you. So it done got to the point where Gary's downstairs. They done called up there like, ma'am, Mr. Borders is downstairs. Would you like for us to let him up? And ultimately she let the people allow him to come up there. Whatever. They start talking. She trying to act like she ain't here for it. And she was like, you're not going to be able to buy me. I'm enjoying my time with Robin, trying to throw little shots to see how he react and all that. And I'm like, girl, no matter how much therapy he get, he gonna eventually squeeze you to death, and I'm gonna be here for it. I'm sorry. Listen, y'all, this is just a TV show. I'm just saying, I'm not here for violence and all that stuff in real life. But people like that, like even in real life, sometimes they are so hard-headed and they don't see things as they are literally happening in front of their faces, to the point of where the way that they learn from this as a lesson is that they have to die. This heifer was near death and still didn't learn. So I'm just saying, don't know how she gonna learn, but seems like she gonna have to die in order to learn, and I hate that for her. Sorry to this heifer. But anyway, so he up there, he talking to her, and he's trying to convince her that, you weren't moved by the Rolls Royce, who we found out in real life it belonged to Tyler Perry, which makes sense. But I know you want this. So he just sat up there and bought that for her. That's something that she's always wanted. So while he in the middle of talking to her and trying to convince her that I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get you back, like, her friends walk in. So they all looking like, and what is going on here? I got the dough for you. You can get up out. I don't know why you here. So they trying to figure out what's going on. And he going ahead and excused himself finally. And I'm like, you ain't moving fast enough for me, y'all. He get on my nerves. So they trying to figure out why he there, what's going on. We already know that at this point, Karen is the only one who knows about the Rolls Royce. Karen is explaining to them that they done went out on a joyride in the Rolls Royce. And so they already trying to get over the fact that there was a Rolls Royce to begin with. It's like, wait a minute, baby, you're doing too much. And they just, like, everybody's just like, all right, what is going on? What is going on, heifer? Like, don't fall for it. They're trying to figure out why ain't nothing in the place. And so come to find out all this stuff is going on. He done bought the penthouse. So we all know that he's trying to buy her off. He's trying to buy her love and affection, even though he's telling her, no, it's not what I'm doing. Oh, okay, sir, whatever. But after all was said and done, Danny was like, well, I mean, I'm trying to see what it's looking like. So that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna go up to the penthouse. How I get up there? How do I get access? So then Sabrina thought about it for a minute and was like, yeah, let me accompany you because, you might get lost. So let me just go with you. Girl, bye. So that leaves Karen and Andy by themselves to talk. And so Andy want to know what the heifer want to talk about. She was like, I ain't talking to you about that until everybody is present. Did you call Fatima and tell her that I wanted her to be present? So she was like, were you serious? She was like, yes, I told you over and over again that I was serious. So she was like, okay, well, I'm going to go off to the back. And so she was like, you really got to leave the room? Why you got to leave the room? To talk to the heifer. So she was like, well, I don't know how she going to take this. And so, I'm going to go and do my part, but I'll be back. So she politely went into the next room and closed the door. And so she was like, because Andy was like, I don't want to be, in the middle of this. So when she done left out, she was like, you already in the middle of it. And I'm like, but you the one making it into something that it didn't have to be. I understand that y'all have been friends since college or whatever, but at the same time, you get mad at her because she was saying from the jump that she didn't want to be in the middle of it. And then you basically were putting her in the middle of it. And now that she's trying to make sure that there are boundaries that she's abiding by, at least in that situation, you want to be mad and try to throw shots. Girl, bye. So anyway, she went off to go ask Fatima if she, can come over and, and she was like, she wants to meet up with you. And so she looking like, I don't know about all that. And Zach was literally in the house with her. She had already talked to Zach because, like, she was like, I got some stuff I need to talk to you about, and gave him the lowdown on Zach. But anyway, so she was just like, I don't know about all that, but let me talk to Zach, and then I'll come back with you. Because when she answered the phone, she was like, this is Andy, let me see what she wants. So then he could hear little keywords while she was speaking to Andy, and he over here like, what's she talking about? What's going on? And I'm like, child, let her get off the phone. So when they did get off the phone, she was like, I think that Karen is going to tell the girls about her being pregnant. So he was like, man, she already told them heifers. And so she was like, I don't think she has. Like, the way she's talking, I don't think Andy knows. Like, the girls, Andy, none of them, I don't think she knows. And so she was like, look, basically, I feel like she want me to come over there so she could tell me, not knowing that I already know. But what if the situation is like this? Like, if you want me to go, I'll go. If you don't want me to go, I won't go. Like, whatever you want to happen is what it'll be. In his mind, he was like, okay, well, if you want to go, you can go, And, part of her is like, nah, I don't want her to go. I don't want to go, rather. And she actually inadvertently found out that Karen had been over to the house. So she was like, what house? What house? She would have set it off if she had a popped up at her place. Oh, gosh. I was like, thank goodness she didn't roll up at her house like that. But it still, was kind of like a moment where Fatima was like, hey, what house? And he was like, this house. Fatima blacked out. Like, she like had a moment where she just froze, and he was just like, "Wait a minute, what's going on? You all right?" She snapped completely out of it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm all right. I just had to process that." But what did she want? I was like, "Oh my gosh." She was like, "Are you sure?" Because he had to back up in some more. Because it was like, he don't know whether or not the gangster gonna come out. Like, I be trying to tell people that I'm a gangster, but they don't want to believe me. I even told my friend that I ghosted that I'm a gangster, and he's been laughing at me ever since. And I don't know why I don't nobody believe me. I am a G. I am a G. I'm not a lowercase G. They really be like, okay, if you're a G, you're a lowercase G. I'm like, no, I'm not. But I digress. I'm just saying, Fatima is a G. And they really be trying to test the gangster. And it's like, y'all know what she's capable of. She stays strapped. So anyway, she was like, look, yeah, I mean, at first she was kind of like, I really don't want to go, but I think I should go. So what if it's a situation where she knows that I know, or has figured out that I know, or at least she wants to break the news to them, but at the same time she wants to like set up some kind of situation with how the custody is going to be and the arrangements with the child. You know what I'm saying? How's that parental situation going to be set up? Because she's going to be involved. Because the way things are looking right now, they are very solidified. So it's like, oh, I see this heifer gonna be around, so I might as well just let her know I'm pregnant, whether he let her know or not, and just be like, all right, heifer. I mean, I guess. I don't know. But she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go on over there, I guess. So meanwhile, back at the place, like I said, Andy and Karen are alone because everybody else went upstairs to the penthouse. And so she's trying to get her to tell her what's going on. She was like, not till the girls get back or whatever. And so she was like, then she starts going on and on about her situation. And I'm just like, girl, I'm so sick. Y'all, I don't even want to go into that's how annoying Andy is to me. I'm just like, child, I don't even want to talk about it. But anyway, I'm glad that Fatima, said what she said, because I'm like, please don't let the G come out. Don't do it. But she is going to come over, and it's going to be what it's going to be as far as that is concerned. Make sure I get everything. Because I'm trying not to be before y'all very long. I'm not trying to do no 20 and 30 minutes, child. Okay. But yeah, she's stupid. And it's like, and I just be like, Andy, why is it that you don't understand that the things that you are doing are not conducive to what you think that you should be receiving in a mate? This man literally smothered you almost to death. We thought you died. He squeezed you to death almost. Like, you stopped breathing, heifer. You had bruised ribs, heifer. I don't be understanding the stupidity. So anyway, meanwhile, the heifer's upstairs, Danny and Sabrina, and they done walked in there. It's so like luxurious that Sabrina was like, is this the not the foyer? What did she call it? Is this the lobby? I was like, ma'am, I cannot. This heifer said, is this the lobby? But they looking throughout the house and the kitchen, everything. And they done went in the room, the bedroom, and all this other stuff. They done jumped on the bed, want to know if the bed's soft. They done went into the little area where she would look and be at when she's putting on her clothes and all that stuff. Have her own little powder room and all that, whatever it is. Her little dressing area. He got a portrait up there of her. Oh gosh, it is everything. That was an amazing picture of her. Her hair was everything in that picture. Yes, Lord. Why don't y'all do that on the show where it be looking good like that all the time? Child. Everybody. At all times. Yes, Lord. So anyway, she is just like overwhelmed. Danny is just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, child, you a fool. So Sabrina was like, is there anything to drink? She was like, yeah, I saw some cognac or something on the counter. And she went and got the glasses. And she was like, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to take this bottle. She took the bottle of brown liquor with her and went back downstairs to where Andy and was at. So when they came back down there, they telling them what it's hidden for. And Karen is trying to convince her that she don't need to go. Now, before the girls got down there, she was like, yeah, I don't need to go up there. Yeah, I don't need to go up there. And then they came down there and was like, girl, whoo, child. I was like, ma'am, Ma'am, it's a little bit too much going on. I was just like, no. It just got to the point where eventually she was like, yeah, I might need to go on up there. And then they trying to figure out where they gonna sit. Like, ain't nowhere to sit. Yeah, we used to do certain things back in the day because we didn't have furniture when we were in school at first or whatever, but we're different girls now. So the girls were like, yeah, I think you need to see this. So then she done got convinced and then convinced herself, oh yeah, I need to see this, at least for myself. So before we see what the heifer seeing, we see that one of those night games are happening. And so after everything happened between Fatima and Zach where they were talking, and she actually was like, look, who is this Gary dude or whatever? I know him, and he actually was with Andy. So he over here looking like, all right, now there's too much going on. And so she was like, I just don't want you to have none of your finances and stuff, tangled up in him. Like, be careful. And so he was like, okay, I will. And my thing is this. I'm like, you better listen to Fatima, because Fatima stay telling you what's right and what you need to do. It is what it is. So he done went to the game. And so the game over with. So he over here dapping up Gary. And so he was like, all right, man. So he really still trying to be friendly with him, not knowing that Zach knows his teeth. So he was like, yeah, I'm good where I'm at. And so he was like, what's going on here? Then Aaron comes from out of nowhere, because he goes and he's out there doing these things as well. And so he was like, yeah, I've met him before, whatever. He was like, he's dating my ex. And so he was like, wait a minute, your ex? He was like, wait a minute, you're dating Karen. Karen's your ex? I'm like, child, I hate that you putting all these puzzle pieces together. Gary done got on my nerves. So they having a little back and forth, Aaron and Zach. And I'm like, child, please. Like, he really, you know how men do what they do. You know how they do. I ain't even gonna say it. But they was going back and forth. And then he was like, you know what, let me holler at you for a minute. He done took Gary off to the side, Zach. And so he was talking to him. And he was like, look, it is what it is. What did you do? Like, and so he over here explaining that, he was with her. They ain't together no more. He trying to win her back right now. And, everybody on her side, you know how the sisterhood is. And he looking at him like, I don't know what you thought I was finna do, but I ain't trying to be no part of this. I'm barely in. I barely got in where I fit in. I'm all right now with the sisterhood, even though I'm not with one of the original friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on, good terms right now. You ain't trying to mess it up for me. So he was like, what did you do? So he was like, well, I mean, I was married before I met her. So he was like, man, what's wrong with you? It sounded like Zach said, man, Andy, fine. Why would you do that? I was like, not you noticing that Andy's fine or whatever. You done went off. Y'all let me know if I heard that all the way wrong. That's probably just what I wanted to hear, because he's a man, a typical man, and he has proven to be one of those in real life and on this show in the past when he was dealing with Karen. So I'm just seeing. It is what it is. So Gary tried it and was like, if you help me, I'll help you. So he looked at him like, oh, so if I help you get Andy back, you'll help me with all this stock stuff. And he was like, man, you know how much of a messed up individual you are to do this to me? Like, if you see something wrong, why would you sit up there and do that? Like, child, I'm like, I know that's right. Set it off. He was like, you know what? Hand me my ball back. He ended up having Aaron to throw his ball back to him. And I'm saying to myself, why is that Zach was the only one who had a whole basketball out there, and all of y'all were depending on his one basketball? Everybody should have at least one basketball. Basketballs are not expensive. What is going on here? I know that that's a random thing to say, but that was just my observation in that last moment, because I just be tired. So anyway, they done got up there to the penthouse. This heifer is, oh my God. I'm rolling my eyes the whole time, just like Karen. Karen, as soon as the door opened, she was just like, what is it called? Resting bee face. All around. That's all that Karen was serving. I was so tired in my spirit. And I mean, the place is beautiful. It is what it is. I understand. But ma'am, you do know he's buying you, even though he's telling you, I'm not buying you. Every time he do something, it's a gesture that requires him to max out credit cards and things. Like, I'm just saying, he got to go in a bank account and set it off on an astronomical level for no reason. And it's like, please stop. So anyway, like, she starts breaking down as she gets further back. And then when she gets to the area where you see her face and all that stuff, This heifer is like breaking down. She's like, oh my God. Y'all don't understand. He listens to me. He paid attention to everything I said. Even earlier, before they got up there, she was like, he paid attention to me. And when we did our little joyride, he had people to do a song. Like, she was happy to reenact the moment. And Karen was like, nah, I don't remember the song, heifer. I don't know what you talking about. But yeah, this heifer in the room crying. You don't understand. You don't understand the attention to detail. He really listens to me. He pays so much close attention to me. I can't believe you don't understand the way all of this is. It's set up exactly like my favorite movie. I'm just like, oh, child. Like, when people want what they want, they listen when they want to listen. They pay attention when they want to pay attention. Or if they have forgotten what you've said because they weren't paying attention, they will find somebody close to you and get them to run off what they need to know. Because Gary wants to be in control no matter what Andy wants to believe in her heart of hearts, because she's slowly spreading her thighs and butt cheeks, ready to bend over and bust it wide open, tell him bring it back, even though nothing is happening in this moment. And I'm just like, girl, you are so dumb. So at this point, she's celebrating. And everybody but Karen was like, okay, yeah, we're celebrating. Because at this point, she's basically accepting, this is where I'm going to be living. Like, this is what I always wanted. I told him I wanted to own a penthouse. I told him this is one of my dreams, to own this penthouse. Y'all, I'll be so tired of my spirit. So Danny goes to open up some wine. And they were like, yeah, let's get some more glasses. Definitely to get a glass of wine to Karen. And so Karen eventually was like, yeah, I'm not drinking any wine. I don't need any. And they were like, why not? She was like, I'm not going to drink any. And they were like, why not? The heifer finally told them that she pregnant. I'm like, about time. And everybody's jaw done dropped. I'm like, child, whatever. I'm so sick and tired. Y'all, I'm sorry I went over. Because I just can't. And it's just the stupidity for me. Anyway, y'all, let me get up off here before I get upset by these fictional people. Anyway, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's get to talking about this foolishness down in the comment section. Bye.